Start doing some more projects. Start doing some more projects.
You ready?
I've been born ready, straight off of fish and spaghetti. I see the big picture. If it's to get richer, I'll probably get with you.
What's your what's your curfew? What's your how long you could go?
I mean, I ain't finna be here for 3 hours with you.
No, no. We usually do like an hour,
That's fine.
like that.
Knock it out.
Let me try that again. Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Anthony with the Movie Blog. I'm here with my brother E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. We're here with another episode of The Correct Opinion. This week is it's a different week. It's not super fast paced, but there is a lot of cool stuff to weigh in on and provide you guys with the correct opinion on. And here's a few of our top topics to discuss. Now, one of the first things that you and I would discuss and off and on throughout the week was this Variety article that came out recently, which was just full of bombshells or at least accusations of potential things that happened within the Warner Brothers house. Now, we were looking at this article, and it looks like from what we can see that your boy The Rock was sitting here trying to make a bid for power. When he was sitting here talking about the hierarchy of power is about to change, he wasn't just talking about some Marvel versus DC stuff. He was
Nope.
sitting here trying to like make moves on trying to like really just shape the direction of the DC EU moving forward. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
really want that job that ultimately went to James Gunn, but he wanted to be at least the hand controlling the
Yeah.
direction of things.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that before, where he wanted his own sandbox.
Yeah,
He wanted the same sandbox that Matt Reeves got and Todd Phillips got. Which so I don't blame him for making. You got to shoot your shot,
yeah,
right? I don't
basically.
blame him for that at all. But according to this report, and there were little rumbles about this before, I think a week or two even before this, there was a report about how he went behind the backs of the people that were in charge at that time. Now, granted, they were on their way out anyway. So Walter Hamada, like he was on his way out anyway. He
Mm-hmm,
had his
mm-hmm,
own plan for Superman and all
mm-hmm.
that. And he wasn't going when The Rock said what he was going to do. So The Rock went behind his back and went behind the other people's back. Again, the people that were leaving,
Yeah.
and was like, yo, new bosses,
It,
here's my pitch.
yep.
This is what I want to do. Let's do something with Black Adam. So supposedly what it was, Black Adam versus Superman. He wanted to do a Black Adam movie. He wanted Superman to do his movies. He wanted them to cross paths, have friction, and eventually build up to a Black Adam versus Superman showdown. That's what The Rock was doing. So
Basically,
that's what he was pitching.
he put it all on black. He bet it
Put it all on
all
belt.
on
And
black.
when in doubt, bet on Black.
Bet
Right?
on black, right?
But he bet wrong.
He
Okay,
bet
he bet
wrong.
wrong. Because again, because of the timing, James Gunn had nothing to do with this. But James Gunn wasn't hired yet. Him and Safran were not hired yet. Like I tell people on my live, this was during the wild, wild west of the DC universe. The company,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
So there weren't any heads, right? It was
right?
essentially new people getting hired, right? It was
They
Michael
didn't even have a
DeLuca.
separate studio yet.
They didn't even have a
Like they
separate
did,
studio yet.
Zaslav didn't, because Zaslav, he was like, "Yo, I see what Disney's doing,
Yep,
and I see how they made Marvel Studios its own entity."
yep.
They didn't have that yet, so this is before all of that structure came into place.
So now with David Zaslav, Mike DeLuca, Pam Abdi sitting here with no organization or structure in place, The Rock decides to shoot his shot, put it all on black, and be like, "Yo, give me these things and watch me go, watch me work."
Yeah.
Watch me work, and when the money comes in, I'm going to show you what to do with this DC universe. At least this is what I'm reading here.
That's what, and that's, yes, and that was a mistake, mainly because The Rock did let ego take over. And again, I say that respectfully because I understand he's The Rock. He's one of the biggest names in Hollywood. I get it, but this is the problem. The Rock put himself, his name, his brand before good storytelling. And that has been the biggest issue. That's been one of the reasons why I've always had critiques when it comes to his production company, because they will be willing to sacrifice a good story, which also starts to hurt the characters, you know, all in the place of, let's get this cheap laugh, or let's do this really cool stunt. And it's kind of like when you break away from the story, everything else suffers. Even if you get that momentary, you know, funny haha moment, or that momentary fan service.
The Rock has been doing numbers in the box office, right? With Rampage and all those little movies that I can't even remember what they were, but when they were coming out, they were making more enough.
That's the problem. You can't even remember what they were because, unfortunately, he sacrifices quality for like other, you know, cheap gags or for fan service or whatever. And it's like, yo, I get that it works in the moment, but it suffers in the long term. This is one of the reasons why people don't oftentimes refer to a lot of his older movies, because they're kind of cheap at the end of the day. They don't, you gotta focus on the story. So when I say focus on the story, this is what I'm talking about. In multiple reports, it's been stated that The Rock declined and did not want to participate in Shazam 1 or in Shazam 2. Now, as comic fans, many of us know Shazam is already not an A-list character. Right. He's barely a B-list character. You might get him on the C-list, but even at that point, Black Adam was created as a direct rival for Shazam. So ain't no way you gonna come in, you're already the subset of a minor character, and you gonna jump the list? You gonna jump the line and go for the A1 sauce in Superman? You just gonna go straight? You're not even gonna have an exhibition match. You just like, yo, I'm coming into the scene and I'm about to go straight for the heavyweight champ. Like this is, I told people in my life, this,
The Rock.
But here's the thing. No, but here's the thing. This is the only example I can give people.
Right away.
But this is the only example I can give people. The Rock came in like his name was Kimbo Slice. Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice. My man was dominating in backyard in fights. He was killing them in jail and stuff. Like, he was doing his thing. But my man acted like he wanted to come straight into the UFC and be like, yo, where's Silva? Yo, where's Bones Jones? Like, yo, I want the title match. I don't want no exhibitions. I don't even want no first round. I want to go straight to the top. That's not how it works. I know you had success elsewhere, but that's not how it works from a story perspective. And I'm gonna give one counterexample that I think Rock should have explored. I understand that he didn't want to share the screen with Shazam. I totally get that. Yeah. You don't want to come off as like a, you know, lesser than. I get that. But the way we've seen comic book movies work, and in comics as well, the way you establish yourself, you need to come in and whoop the hell out of the Shazam family. Black Adam should have came in. He should have been teased in the first one, like with a cameo. The second movie should have showed him mopping the floor with all of them. Just washing them. And Shazam just being like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? What do we do? What do we do? Now Superman you can use Superman's help. Now. And then even after that, you could even bring Superman in and Superman get watched by Black Adam because his vulnerability to magic. And then the third or fourth movie could have been Shazam, Superman. We got to take this mofo down. And that's how you build him up. I mean, but you can't just come in here and be like, power of hierarchy is going to change and all. Bro.
It's not his fault. It was a mess. It's been a mess for the past 15 years.
No, this is his fault. I'm not giving him a pass for this because that's what he pitched. What we saw is what he pitched. No, he has the production company. It's not like he was sitting there like, I don't know, y'all tell the story and I'll just sign on. This is something, he's just as much of a decision maker as anyone else in this thing. So the same way I would give him praise if this thing worked out, I gotta give him criticism when it doesn't.
You
And
hurt
it
me
didn't.
with my man Rock.
You gotta take that too,
You
bro.
hurting it with my man Rock. I'm just
I
trying
mean,
to
listen,
let him
and I say this
live.
out of love because I'm a huge fan and I want to see the brother succeed. But I'm sorry, you can't just walk in and expect the flowing story just because of your presence. You still are representing a character. And the character, again, and I just told you, all he had to do was beat up everybody. That's all he had to do. Thanos showed you exactly how that's done. Oh, y'all got a Hulk? That's cool. Washed. 5 minutes. I'm not playing with y'all. And everybody sat back and was like, oh, this is a problem. Thanos came in and set the whole tone for the rest of the 2 movies in 5 minutes. So ain't no reason why The Rock couldn't have done the same thing, you know.
Listen. He's I'll say this. The Rock is eating his humble pie. The Rock is eating his humble pie right now. You pointed it out to me, right? Like we found this little post he did online on Instagram. He sat here, he put his little words out there, you know, and he was just like, listen, you know, failure comes with success. It happens, you know.
Yeah. And that's why I don't mind him. I appreciate the fact that he recognized that, you know, and I really do hope that moving forward, he puts story before characters, and you put story, characters, all before fan service. And this was something else that I told people on my live just the other day. Imagine if, because keep in mind, The Rock kept going online saying, I hear you, I'm listening to the fans, I'm listening. But the thing is, he led with that, right? He was like, oh, the fans want Henry Cavill, they want Superman, we have to force this into our story. And that's it. And I'm like, that's equivalent to opening up a restaurant that you have full control over and you let the patrons cook the food.
No, they decide what's on the menu.
Fine. But not only do they decide what's on the menu, but they also get to tell you how to cook it, where to cook it, whatever. I'm like, look, that's not the same thing. If the fans say, yo, we want some barbecue, cool. Yeah. You can go in there, but you can be like, hey, look, I know y'all say y'all want some barbecue, and I know y'all in the Midwest, but y'all never had Texas barbecue. So let me bring something to you. Because a lot of times fans don't always know what they want until they get it. And if it's good quality, they will let you know and they will stick behind you. And I don't think The Rock really understood that. I think he was more caught up in the fans told me they want Henry Cavill and Superman. So whatever we do, doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, as long as we get him, they will come. I'm sorry, it's not the same Field of Dreams. As the box office has proven, just because you have Henry Cavill and Superman does not mean people are going to flock to it. But if you had a quality story and people were talking about the story, people were theorizing about it, then you would probably get more traction.
So what I find interesting about this article is like whoever wrote this article wanted to make sure everyone who read it knows exactly how this movie failed. Like it broke down like, hey, yo, let me explain to you why Black Adam's box office is different than say Shazam's box office. Here's how much Shazam had for marketing, here's how much this one had for production, and this is where Black Adam went way overboard with all of these things, or at least it made it seem like it was overboard with the tequila bar at the premiere, and it just like makes sure that you understand exactly where these failures were and why this movie is, or at least this iteration of Black Adam's not going to be continuing right now.
And I'm appreciative of that, mainly because I don't think a lot of people always understand like how movies work and like how the success or the failure of them is determined. And one great line that they talk about in this article is about like the profitability of a film. And they were talking about how like, look, Shazam, you know, the budget was like 100 million and it made like 300 something million, right? So it tripled its budget, right? But at the same time, yes, it made money, but the expectations were also very low. Nobody was really checking for, and I'm talking about like from the people that made the movie. WB was not looking for 3 times. They were like, yo, can we make our money back and then some, right? And because it made triple the amount with low expectations, it was a hit. It's a hit. It's not a box office record, but it's a hit. But Black Adam, you doubled the expectation. The expectations were way higher because you had a box office name with The Rock.
Yeah.
You had a double the budget, at least 200 million, give or take, and you barely touched 400 million, which means you barely doubled in the box office.
Maybe it touched 400 million.
So
maybe.
Is it a flop? No, the movie made more money than it was worth, than it cost, but it's not a hit. It's not a success. It didn't hit the expectations of profitability.
That's the annoying part, because what you're saying right there is expectation to perception is
right.
Perception.
Right. But here's the other thing though. A lot of these studios, especially Marvel, because I've heard this from people in the know, they do the research, and Marvel will sit here and be like, oh, this movie right here, it should make $800 million.
They'll do usually research, they'll do forecasting for the budget, and usually things like that. DC does it too. Everybody does it.
I'm just saying, Marvel usually spot on. I'm just talking about Marvel because I know people specifically in that space. But yeah, you're right. Like other, studios will probably have market reps and tests and stuff for that too. But a lot of times these studios know, oh, for this movie right here, we know we should hit this amount of money. This is one of the reasons why Batman versus Superman, Justice League, and all these other movies, like a lot of these movies failed to meet expectations. Yes, it's fine if what was it, BVS, I think hit 800 million or something like that.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. If it was any other company, that movie, that's fine. However, you got Batman and Superman. The expectation was y'all should have made $1 billion at least. At least. Justice League movie not cracking $1 billion, that's a failure. That's not even underperforming. That's a failure. Ain't no way you should have some of the most popular fictional characters and not hit the bare minimum of $1 billion when you have like Harry Potter doing this, Star Wars doing this, Marvel doing it. If you can have Captain Marvel hit $1 billion, ain't no way. Ain't no way Superman and Batman can't hit $1 billion. So it's always about expectations, and then of course the actual profitability of the film itself. And Black Adam just fell short.
Tough lesson to learn. Tough lesson to learn. And everybody around is learning. Everybody around is learning. Right now we're learning that as a result, this iteration of the DC universe and film, it's over. It's coming to an end. It's
done.
It's done. However, according to this very same article, the article, and if I'm reading this correctly, says it's going to undergo the DC universe is going to undergo a broad but not blanket reset. Okay. So they go on to say that Aquaman, Shazam, Blue Beetle, and James Gunn's Peacemaker series for HBO Max all could have a place at the table in the future. And that's a little, I don't know. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. At this point, I honestly don't care. But it's a little weird, right? I guess to have them coexist? To do, they say a broad but not blanket reset. Because, mainly because what they have announced is that James Gunn is working on that new Superman movie. It's going to be featuring a younger iteration of Superman. That Superman is not going to be played by Henry Cavill. However, you're going to continue to have Peacemaker and you're going to continue to have Shazam. And both of those franchises have, in one way or another, featured Henry Cavill's Superman.
Sure.
So it's like, it just feels a little weird that somehow they're going to, I guess they're going to have to explain it, but somehow these shows or projects are going to continue but not all aspects of the characters they've interacted with are going to continue.
I don't think they gotta explain anything. I think they're gonna put out a Superman movie and they're just gonna be like, look, here's the movie.
That's it. And just not
That's
explain it.
And people just gonna have to figure it out.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. That's it.
All right. We'll see. We'll see. So every fan, Aquaman, Shazam, Blue Beetle, Peacemaker, there's still a chance. You got a shot. There's a shot, depending on the box office of these films this year. And the other interesting thing that was in this Variety article, it looks like Warner Brothers Discovery is open to the idea of keeping Ezra Miller as the Flash. Your boy Ezra. Excuse me, not your boy, your person. Excuse me. You're being Ezra. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
I mean, so let's look at it, right? The Flash movie was announced God knows how long ago. God knows how long, right? I'm a huge fan of the Flash. I love the character. I read the comics. I even went so far as to watch the CW TV show and encourage others to watch it too, right? Okay. As corny as it is. I love the character that much. I've been excited for the idea of the Flash being a movie, right?
Okay.
Two of my favorite things coming together. It seems like it's just a match made in heaven. I've been super duper excited for the idea of the Flash becoming a movie. And then they hired Ezra Miller. And I was like, okay, all right, this is not quite exactly the Barry Allen that I am familiar with, but let's roll with it, right? And we went through the ups and downs of getting acclimated with Ezra as Barry Allen, and I'm going to admit, given enough time, I'm okay with. I was okay with Ezra as Barry.
All right.
I mean, I figured if I can accept, 6'8" Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, I could accept Ezra Miller as Barry Allen, as long as I'm getting the same DNA of the character that I love. Some cool speed moments, some cool speed powers, the vibration, the whirlwinds vibrating through walls, the lightning, time travel. I want to see all that cool stuff in a way that will blow my mind with a big screen budget. And they announced that they're going to do Flashpoint, which is one of my favorite stories.
It's a great story.
It's a fantastic story. Written by Jeff Johns. Love him or hate him. Fantastic story. They're adapting it in film, and they're bringing back Michael Keaton Batman. My favorite Batman.
Go.
Yeah. My favorite. Yeah. It doesn't get any better than this. And then Ezra had to go and choke TV. And Ezra had to go and choke someone on TV.
That was it?
That was the start. That was the first thing. That was the first one.
Okay.
We know of. You remember the choke, right? I remember the choke. And when I first saw the choke, I honestly thought, this can't be real. This looks staged.
I thought it was. I did not. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Even look real.
This is real. Ain't no way. Like, it's got to be a misunderstanding. I gave Ezra the benefit of the doubt, and for a while, it went away. Like, it was kind of like, okay, I'm not hearing nothing about pressing charges. I'm not hearing nothing crazy. Like maybe the fan attacked him first. I don't know.
You check the boxes enough for me to not care anymore.
Yep. Yep.
And then Ezra went to Hawaii.
Do we have time to go through all the things?
You know what? I'm not gonna go through everything.
I was gonna say the list is long. Like I tried doing it one time on the show and it was like 20 minutes. Like going through every single arrest, accusation, incident, report. I mean, there are some things that like, you know, Ezra has not been arrested for or anything that people have talked about. Like where, for example, he was working on a set, I forget for what show or movie or whatever, and he spit in the face of like some other actor. Like, and I don't think they press charges or nothing, but like that is assault. You cannot spit in people's face.
Okay.
You definitely not spit in my face, and man.
I'm not gonna go through the whole laundry list. I'm gonna just.
It's long.
It's long.
It's long.
It's
I just
long.
want people to understand this is not just a matter of it's just rumors or it's just no. It like Ezra's been arrested. Ezra's been caught on tape. Ezra has had lawsuits against them. Like there's a long list of problematic issues.
Ezra posted a video threatening the lives of the KKK.
Yeah. And ain't nobody trying to defend the KKK here, but at the same time,
this is your superhero.
It's very problematic. Ezra avoided police for a while, you know, because Ezra didn't want to get served.
And let's not ever forget, and absolutely not least, Ezra's questionable accusations with other people's children.
That's my biggest issue.
Right. These questionable accusations.
My biggest issue is the grooming of minors accusation.
Anything with other people's children is a trigger.
I agree.
What are you doing? That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a trigger. It's a trigger.
Yeah.
So, Ezra Miller's been seeking some sort of psychiatric or therapeutic counseling, something.
Mm-hmm.
And Ezra's been out of the news, out of jail, hasn't been arrested in like 6 months. So Warner Brothers Discovery, according to this Variety article, is amenable to the idea of Ezra Miller continuing to lead, be the face of a franchise of a flagship, one of the flagship products of their company.
Terrible.
Other people's kids, and you could be a superhero.
Terrible. Not only that, I mean, one of the charges levied against Ezra was, starting some sort of cult-like thing or whatever.
I didn't even touch on the cult.
Using
the
Flash, like whether it was toys or whether it was them dressing up or just talking about using the Flash persona, the Flash's imagery, name, whatever, in their efforts to groom or manipulate minors. That, to me, has crossed the line. Because it's one thing if you're doing all this stuff, hey, man, ain't no court ruled against you yet. You're not in jail, whatever. I could see Warner Brothers Discovery doing the plausible deniability claim. I could see that. I wouldn't agree with it, but I could see it. But the moment your IP is now conflated with the problematic behavior, that's a red flag. That's a sign to stop. That's a sign to be like, you know what? Thank you for your service. Your contract has now been fulfilled, because Ezra has been going back to shoot reshoots because they're contractually obligated to do that. And that's it. And I've said on my channel, I'm like, look, it ain't that hard to recast Ezra Miller. No one's going to blink if Ezra Miller is recast. No one is going to this movie because of Ezra Miller. No one's going to go to the next movie for Ezra Miller. You literally can insert any old other white brunette kid, guy, whatever, and let the show go on.
They don't know that it's perspective. They don't have any perspective.
I guess according to
I try to play devil's
this
advocate.
Flash movie is being compared in the same breath as the Nolan stuff, the Nolan Dark Knight stuff, and I'm like, y'all need to stop.
I mean,
y'all need to stop letting this stuff
with the Batman. They did the same thing with that.
That's what I'm saying. But like every time you do stuff like that, you overhype it and you raise expectations, and it's like that's going to be something that now you have to compete against. Because here's the thing: maybe the Flash is the greatest thing that they've ever made. Maybe it is. But now that you've raised the bar of expectations, now you have a huge challenge to actually meet that new high bar or exceed it. Whereas before, I think most people, and I don't think everybody's heard this report, but I think a lot of times people were just kind of like, let me go see what it is. Let's see what happens. But every time y'all keep talking about, man, the scores are through the roof. Man, this movie is like the best thing ever. And it's like, okay, we'll see. Because if you can't meet them expectations, the critics and the early reviewers and stuff like that, they're going to let you know.
Man, we're going to find out. I'm just saying. They're saying it's like the greatest thing ever. And again, as a really, really, really big Flash fan, this is all really, 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 really painful. Because I'm hearing that this is like the greatest movie ever. It's adapting one of my favorite stories of all time, a Jeff Johns story at that. They're bringing back the GOAT, Michael Keaton, as Batman, and now we have to, taint it with everything that's been going on in the press. This movie was supposed to come out last year, yo.
Yeah. It was, but it also didn't want to go into that Avatar lane either.
Nah.
Nobody want to mess with that.
Nobody wants to smoke. It's a wise decision because Avatar,
man. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But yeah, this Variety article, it's a gift that keeps on giving. It was a nice way to cap off 2022 and walk into 2023. In 2023, man, I don't know. I mean, it's looking all right. Like right now, one of the main things I've been trying to figure out is like, what are the best movies or the biggest movies to kind of look forward to this year in 2023? And you actually did this cool thing you posted on your Facebook page where you had like a graphic listing out some of the biggest movies that are coming out this year. So I was just thinking it might be a little fun to go through some of these together.
Okay.
Here we go. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, this cool little graphic of like some of the movies, at least some of the bigger movies, and there's also some that aren't on the list that I'm looking forward to.
You trying to go in chronological order or just?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna run through this chronologically. This is the easiest way, left to right. So Megan is the first one that came out.
Solid movie.
Solid movie? Solid.
I just posted my review for it.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh man, is it on the movieblog.com?
It's about to be. By the time this comes out, it probably should be. It's definitely on my YouTube channel though.
All right, that's cool. Now I've been hearing good things about it. I'm excited for the movie. I'm interested in seeing it. It's something my son's been asking me to bring him to see. The next one, I know you've been look you already showing it right on your shirt. You hyped for this next one, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Hold on, time out. I'm not hyped for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm hyped for Kang, the Conqueror. That's all I'm hyped for. I don't care about Ant-Man at all. Okay, I've been saying for the longest, Kang is for the squash Ant-Man, and that's all that matters. So, yeah, that's it. I don't care about the movie, but I do feel as though this might be the one movie in the MCU for 2023 that's gonna have the most traction.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple other MCU films on the calendar, but
Hmm.
this is the only one that might get people to feel like that we're finally watching a film that's part of a bigger narrative, right? There's
Hmm.
no sense of that in any of the recent projects. Hopefully, this one will finally make us feel like there's some interconnectivity or underlying story that we can finally see.
Hmm.
So yeah, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Kang Gang. That I mean, for what it is, there's some excitement there, and I can't even front. That's a good start to the year right there with Megan and Ant-Man, and then we follow that up with Cocaine Bear.
I feel like every year there's some sort of movie that's kind of like, I wouldn't say a joke, but like you're excited for it, but you ain't about to go take it seriously for real. Like I'm gonna go watch it just to see how wild it gets. And that's it. Am I ever gonna revisit it? Probably not. Could it become a cult classic? Maybe, but it's about a bear that got. And it's based off a true story. I wouldn't say everything happens in the movie is true, but it's based off a true story of like this airplane. I guess they were trafficking drugs or they had it. The bag of cocaine falls in the woods, and a bear gets a whiff of it and wants more. So it's just going off of that. It's going off of that. And we'll see what happens.
Yo, I saw the trailer like maybe 10 minutes before we started this. This movie looks ridiculous.
It
You
is.
said it. It's like one of those silly movies you're not supposed to take seriously. Nobody's going to take. What was that movie? Like Tire. Remember that movie where there's like a tire that goes around the world killing people? It's like one of those little weird, silly movies.
I had no idea that was a thing.
You never. Oh man,
I
I'm gonna
never
dig
heard
that
of
up.
that.
There's a movie about a tire that somebody just like sets up straight, kicks over, and it just like goes around the world killing people.
Okay.
Oh man, you know what's not on here?
Hmm.
Plane.
It's not on there at all.
Nah, Plane's not
Hey,
on here with
Plane
Gerard Butler
Plane
and
looks a little decent.
Mike Coulter. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually looks decent. Like I don't know if I'd watch that over Cocaine Bear. It looks decent. Like Plane, but here's the thing: I don't think I'd ever go to the theaters to watch Plane. But if it came on streaming
Yeah.
or if it was on Netflix,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? It's a slow weekend. I might mess around and put that on.
Is definitely one of those movies that would thrive if it came straight to
Right,
streaming. It would
right.
thrive there.
But if you need, this is the movie that like you have to put it on the right platform.
Yeah.
And because different platforms will just throw stuff up and like just let it live there,
Yeah.
and you just got to cross your fingers that maybe somebody cares about it.
Nah,
But like, I wish more streaming platforms would learn from Netflix, where they promote the mess out of stuff that's coming up. Now it's going to be short lived, but like the fact that they like, look, here are the top 10 things other people are watching. It just creates that artificial FOMO.
Yep.
The fear of missing out, where you're like, oh, that's number one. All right, let me see why it's number one. If it was me, and not only that, I mean, look, shout out to Netflix and their marketing. You could be watching something completely different, and once you're done, they're like, but you need to look at this,
Yeah.
and they put stuff on your radar
That
and
you
keep you on the app. And I'm like, that's brilliant, because I be discovering new stuff, and I'm like, yo, I just watched Alice in Borderland season 2. Go watch that. And all of a sudden they just recommend Squid Games or something like that,
or Sweet
like,
Home, or they're letting you
or
know that
Sweet
season
Home,
2 is coming. Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Yo, Netflix is still that like one streaming platform. Like if all else failed, Netflix is still number one. Like if they put a
100%.
gun to my head and they said you can only
100%.
keep one, Netflix.
Yeah.
It's not even a question.
Yeah. No doubt. What else we got?
Creed 3.
Oh, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. and we're gonna hopefully finally see Creed do something without Rocky involved. So I've been waiting for that since Creed 2. I'm like, a Rocky-less story should be the goal. Like,
and now we got Jonathan Majors as the antagonist of the film, and I gotta tell you, here you go again. I gotta tell you, yo, from the trailers, from what they put out so far, yo, I'm really, really, really liking the atmosphere, the mood, and the direction that they seem to be going with this story. I hope it delivers. I know there's been some chatter online that we'll see, but it looks like it's going to be a solid movie from what we're seeing in the trailer.
I'm down with it.
So far oh man, there's still a whole lot more. We ain't even get it through.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got
all right, next one, Scream 6.
No, don't care.
Don't care? Not even a little bit?
But they lost me in the last one. The last movie, I didn't personally care for it because it got so redundant with the whole like plot and everything, and it was dumb. Like, remember in the old Scream movies, I think it was like Scream 2 or 3, where basically they were like, hey, here are the rules of a horror movie and what to do. And I thought that was refreshing. It was dope. It was kind of meta at that same sense, because as an audience, we're like, you're right. That is how horror movies go.
Yeah.
In this last one, literally everybody was doing it instead of having, like that one expert or whatever. And I'm like, yo, it's not fun no more. It's not cool. Y'all overplayed your hand. And it's almost like, I put it to you like this. When you're watching, let's say, Deadpool or She-Hulk, and one of the coolest things about watching that is the main character breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience. Right? That's cool. It's cool when it's only that one character, but it's not cool if everybody breaks the fourth wall.
Right.
Now it's no longer unique. So like that to me is where I'm kind of like, nah, y'all lost me with this. The ending was kind of whack. So I'm not, and they played around and almost didn't bring back Neve Campbell for part 6 because they didn't want to pay her, as if she hasn't carried the whole franchise on her shoulders. So man, listen, I don't know. No, I don't care. I'll wait.
All right. So Scream 6. I'm curious. It's going to be in New York. Just for that, I'm curious. Let's see what happens with that. Okay. Oh, Shazam. Shazam moved out the way of Avatar. It gave Avatar 3 months of breathing room. Let's see if that's enough. And we're going to get Shazam too.
Okay. I don't care. The fact that they didn't make Shazam 2 a Black Adam related thing, which now we know is because of The Rock. I don't care about him fighting against Helen Mirren. Like, okay, like whatever. I don't care.
Okay, fine. Listen, I'm not the biggest one to sit here and talk about Shazam.
There you go.
John Wick.
Yes.
John Wick.
I'm here for that. Let's go.
John Wick. Yo,
Let's
I'm so hyped for John Wick. I didn't watch John Wick at all until the third movie.
Jesus.
Like, right before
you just kept missing out. I had no idea why people was hyping this thing up.
I just figured
I had no idea why all these other movies started copying John Wick.
Like Neo and Matrix, right? Neo and Matrix. That's all it is. It's Neo and Matrix just running amok, right?
This was one of those pivotal moments in movie history. Whenever you have a movie that other movies want to copy, you got something. You did something. And John Wick is it. Like, there's a reason why people be like, yo, this has a lot of John Wick action now.
Yes. They reference it. You're a verb. You're a verb. Like, yo,
when you're a verb or adjective or whatever, like, now you made it. You did it.
So yeah, John Wick, I'm hyped for the third one. I binged 1 and 2, saw the third one in IMAX. I'm ready for the fourth.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons? No. The Chris
Pine movie? Moderate. Like, I've never been a fan of Dungeons and Dragons. That's just not my thing. But I'm curious just to see if, like, if I watch this, will I kind of sort of tap into the vibe of why people like it. I like the cast. I love Chris Pine. Like, I think Chris Pine is dope. I've had the opportunity to actually run into Regé-Jean Page a couple times and talk to him. And he's like super cool, like super nice guy. And one thing that he had told me was just about how much he actually loves the franchise. Like, he loves Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
And that was like his enthusiasm for it was one, and because I don't want to speak for him, but like the sense that I got was because he loves it so much and cares about it so much, I have a feeling that he put some real good effort into this. So I'm like, okay, I'm willing to see what you did based off of how positively you've spoken about it. So I'm here for it.
Listen, I'm curious about it. Like you said, Chris Pine, huge Chris Pine fan. He had me since Star Trek.
Yeah.
Regé-Jean Page, I'm a huge fan. I love the brother. I'm supportive of his rise.
Yep.
But Dungeons and wasn't there a Dungeons and Dragons movie before?
I don't know.
I think there was one. I might be confused.
There might have
thinking
been.
of like some Marlon Wayans movie. It could have been something else. Maybe.
Yeah. That's more accurate.
All right, I'm curious if anything, but it is. We'll see. We'll see if they can show me something that really makes me want to go out and see it.
Right.
Evil Dead Rise. This is another one of those situations where it's like, you know, I kind of like don't like. I'm not a huge Evil Dead fan, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be able to tell you everything that's in the what is it, the Nomicron or the Necromon, the book.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not like one of those huge people. I never really got into it, but I understood where Sam Raimi got his start. I understood his tone and style, that weird like humor, horror fusion. And from what I remember from the Showtime series with Evil Dead versus Ash, it had like some cool little things going for it. It wasn't really my cup of tea. This Evil Dead Rise though looks a little bit darker, at least from what I remember seeing in the trailer and the images. It looks a little bit darker.
I've always had a mixed relationship with Evil Dead because I feel like it has so much potential to be better as a horror, but it always compromises itself by having comedy in it. And, you know, I mean, I've said this multiple times that comedy and horror don't work well together, in my opinion. And it's such a very fine balance if you want it to work. I mean, for example, some people bring up Friday the 13th or not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. Well, I'm sorry. Like, when we were kids, Freddy was not funny.
Nah.
Freddy was scary as hell as a child watching this. But as an adult going back and watching it, Freddy's freaking hilarious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fact that Freddy would take a Q-tip, a giant Q-tip to kill a deaf kid, I'm sorry.
Don't lie.
It was kind of funny.
Don't lie.
You know? So, Evil Dead, it's one of those rare movies that, or franchises that can kind of sort of traverse that balance. But I'll go watch it because I did like the last Evil Dead, the reboot that they did.
The Ash vs. Evil Dead or the no, the live action movie. Yeah,
live action movie. I thought it was cool. It was fine. And yeah, I still don't really understand the lore about everything. I don't really get the whole like, all right, it's an evil book. First of all, you tell me, hey, I found this mysterious book in the woods. I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I don't. But like, was it Harry Potter?
That's the comedy. I'm out of here. That's the comedy because they do things that conform to the rules of a horror movie, right? Like, oh, an evil book in the woods. I must read it. It must be here for me to read. That must be why I'm here.
I can't get it. I can't get it. Like, when I tell you that is one of my biggest frustrations, you know, having I cannot
live, let them live.
I cannot deal with. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with horror movies in general, is when it's no longer scary when the characters do dumb things that I would not do,
right?
Or the average person wouldn't do. The moment you break that, I can no longer connect with the character. And if you think about it, the reason why we get afraid in a lot of horror movies is because we connect with the character. We're like, dang, if I was in that position, I would be scared too.
Yes.
But if you're doing dumb stuff, I'll be like, well, you can die now.
You're
Bye.
right.
I don't care if you die because you're doing dumb stuff and it ain't my problem no more. I can't sympathize with you no more because you did the dumbest stuff.
But sometimes seeing the people do the dumb stuff is the fun. Yeah, like
fun.
So like
fun.
For example, like,
comedy, fun.
Remember Barbarian?
I hadn't seen it.
You haven't seen Barbarian?
Oh, no.
All right, so in Barbarian, there's this moment where it's like the main character's like, they're like, oh, I think we have to go downstairs to go through the exit through the basement, and she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And the one white guy, he goes down in there, and the black lady's like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. It's one of them moments. It's like you point and laugh at the humor of the situation, and I don't know. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right. What's next?
Super Mario Brothers.
I'm moderately interested in that.
What would make Super Mario Brothers a success?
The story. Like, the story's just gonna have to be really good and entertaining and funny, and I think, like, the fact that, like, the trailers look good. The trailers look really good. And I think it would also have to be the comedy. The fact that they brought Super Mario, the Smash Brothers element into it, and I wasn't expecting it that soon. I was thinking, oh, y'all do that in a sequel, but like the fact that they brought that in there, like, these are things that, like, if you've ever played the game, like, you're gonna be like, yo, y'all captured hopefully that feeling of when I'm playing, and we'll see if they do that. I'm
so excited. I hope they touch on every era of Mario. Did you see they had the raccoon suit?
Yeah.
They got the raccoon suit, yo.
They got the raccoon. They got the fire.
The fire flower.
I'm sure they got the star in there.
Right. If they have the cape or the any of the other power ups in there, I'm gonna be. You could throw a turnip at somebody.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I'm so excited. I hope it turns out really good. I hope that they just take us on a tour throughout all the eras of Mario, including the Smash Brothers, like you mentioned, Mario Tennis, Golf, all that. I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm with it too.
But yeah, so far we up to a good start, and then we get back to Marvel. So we get a little Guardians of the Galaxy coming out in May 5th. James Gunn is going to be releasing his final, for the at least foreseeable future, Marvel project. He's going to be out here, I'm assuming, promoting it, and they already released the trailer, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we do have a trailer for Guardians 3.
Yeah, and it was cool, right?
It was all right.
It was cool.
And
right?
we'll see.
They had some new costumes. Gamora's in it. That character that's been in every movie. She's in this one too. I'm trying to get excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. I really am.
I don't have anything to be excited about.
I want to be excited for it though.
I wouldn't even say I want to be. I'll just be like, all right, whatever.
Like, I can't even tell you anything I'm looking forward to seeing in that movie.
Coming to an end. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in the how can I say it? The creative decision of what to do with
who? Quill? Gamora?
Adam Warlock.
Oh, Adam Warlock.
Yeah. The fact that he's just like in it, but not really
the focal point of the point of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole thing with Infinity War was that was his bread and butter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, I don't know.
You know what it is.
It's almost like doing
what it is. And
it's almost like doing The Killing Joke without Commissioner Gordon. Right? Like, Commissioner Gordon was,
I would say it's almost like doing The Killing Joke without Barbara Gordon.
Or with Barbara Gordon. Right. You know,
I mean,
yeah, we got the main players involved with Thanos and the Guardian. Okay, we got the main stuff in there, but like this was the one thing he did. This was the one thing that made them interesting. Barbara Gordon would not be in a wheelchair if it wasn't for the Killing Joke.
so maybe this is James Gunn's attempt at like reinvigorating and refreshing the character of Adam Warlock. Let's get him away from what we expect, put him in something new, and maybe it'll rejuvenate the character. It's the only thing I can try to
rejuvenate from what?
I can try.
From what? This is his first time being on live action.
I don't know.
There's nothing to rejuvenate.
I don't know.
He barely has been in animated form. Barely.
I'm trying. I'm really, really trying.
All right, move on. Move on. I'm tired of this.
Who's the villain?
I'm tired of this.
It's the High Evolutionary. Did you see the High Evolutionary make his appearance?
I don't care about him either. Don't care about none of that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop. Fast 10, starring everybody ever who's ever graced the screen in Hollywood. Everyone who's ever walked by a Hollywood square, everyone who's stepped foot in California is starring in Fast 10. And I'm hyped. I am hyped. I'm so excited.
Okay.
No, seriously. Like, I'm really excited because in all honesty, it's evolved now into another level of ensemble film. And that's what I'm excited for, it to potentially just find a new way to reinvigorate itself as an ensemble.
You ready?
Okay. You don't want to see how this movie franchise
I
ends?
don't care. I don't care.
After all these years.
After all these years.
You haven't been invested in Dominic Toretto.
Right. After what? Fast 5. I think Fast 5 or maybe 6. I think 6 is when Paul Walker passed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was
like
7.
5 or 6 or 7. Maybe 7.
After that, I was done. Because they started getting more ridiculous, more outrageous, more unbelievable.
What if they recast Paul Walker?
I don't want them to. I want them to make movies that make sense.
Look,
that follow the laws of logic, maybe even the laws of physics, stuff like that.
Nobody wants that. Right now, at this point, they're taking the Michael Bay approach. Right?
You see how they've tainted the waters?
If the movie is making money, keep making more. Screw critical reaction. Screw all that. If it keeps making money, keep making more. They're at the Transformers stage.
Hey, have fun. Go watch Fast 9 again. Have fun.
Moving on. The Little Mermaid.
I'll watch it with my kids.
I'm very excited to take the kids to see it.
Yeah, I think my wife wanted to do like a watch party or something, for the kids in the neighborhood. Like, I don't mind that.
I'm almost jealous because you have like 3 daughters to share this with. You're gonna be in your moment. This is your moment. This is your glory.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm happy to go watch this with them.
I'm curious about it. I gotta go back and look at everybody that's in the cast again. I remember Halle Bailey, but that's it. Ooh, Spider-Man.
Oh, this is probably my number 1 most anticipated movie. Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse. Listen, if there's a hierarchy of top 3 movies I'm looking forward to,
this is number 1.
Spider-Man
ain't no top nothing. This is number 1.
Is 1, 2, and 3.
Listen, that's the first movie blew me away. First movie, I was like, yo, I really think this could be the greatest, bestest Spider-Man movie that we've ever had.
Ever.
So, and I'm looking at you, Spider-Man 2 with the GOAT, Tobey Maguire. I'm looking at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, honestly, those three, they, depending on my mood, they interchange. At any given day, I might say one is number one is number one. Like, but Across the Spider-Verse right now, definitely my number one anticipated movie.
The hope I have for this movie, the excitement, the anxiety I feel just thinking about. Did you see they had Spectacular Spider-Man? They had Spectacular Spider-Man.
They got everybody in there. First of all, Scarlet Spider's in there too.
Scarlet Spider's in there. Ben Reilly's in there. I think we might have had a Superior Spider-Man in there. We got like 2 or 3. A Miles variant, which is not something we've seen before. We're gonna get Miles variants. Oh my God.
And the cool thing about this, the replay value is probably going to be huge. A lot of people, I could totally see this being like, yo, I need to go back and rewatch this.
Yeah.
Or I can't wait for it to hit streaming so I can go back and point out all of the. This is huge for replay value and rewatchability. So yeah, I can already tell. The fact that people are going crazy over the trailers, easy money.
Yep.
What month are we in?
We're in June.
Okay.
June
Halfway.
2nd. That was Spider-Verse. And then we go back to your other favorite one, Transformers. Now, Transformers actually kind of suckered me back in. Like, I was out. I was all the way out. Michael Bay had run his course with all of his Transformers movies. I was out. I was done. They got rid of Sam Witwicky. They brought in Marky Mark. I was out. And then they said the 2 words that brought back another stage of childhood, another stage of life that just Beast Wars.
I mean, look, I'm just glad Michael Bay is like stepping back.
He's gone.
He was kind of the biggest problem with him. Like the first movie, if memory serves me right, because at this point they're all a blur. The first movie was kind of like, okay, I think I like this.
Yeah.
And what the second one was at the fall, I don't know, whatever. It's just been downhill from there. It's been downhill. Every movie after the first got worse and worse and worse.
The first one was fire.
The first one, if I recall, was good.
I saw it in IMAX. But buildings,
yeah, I did too.
Fight,
I was like,
everything was getting destroyed.
If this is the taste of what's to come, I'm here for it.
Yes.
Now, biggest problem, Michael Bay loves him to focus on some hot girls, so that's why Megan Fox kept getting all these cameos. And the biggest problem, you focus way too much on the humans. Humans are never the interest in Transformers stories. They're the side characters. If that. If they're even involved, they are the side characters. And we got a small taste of that in Bumblebee. Bumblebee is the only movie that kind of sort of got me a little excited to think about these things. And Bumblebee, like the first 10 minutes where they did the war on Cybertron, I was like, yo, if this is going to be the next movie, sign
do this for an hour and a half.
Up. I was like, yo, y'all could have just y'all could have extended this scene and I would have been like, we got the best Transformers movie today. That's all y'all needed to do. The whole like, oh, I'm a Transformer and I'm bonding with human. I don't care.
I don't need any of that.
I don't care. I don't care.
Autobots, Decepticons, they fighting. I understand.
That's all I care about. And here's the crazy thing. Netflix came out with a series of Transformers, like mini series or whatever. Like it's like 3 or 4 different mini series of Transformers stuff. Yeah. And it literally is all about the Transformers, their own mythology. They dip into Beast Wars. They dip into the war in Cybertron. They dip into like what's going on. I'm sitting here blown away. Like, this is the stuff the cartoon never gave us. Like, they always mentioned these things, but they never showed it. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, the fact that they actually like they have their own mythos, like they have their own god in a sense with the spark, the all spark, and all this stuff. And like I'm sitting here like, yo, the matrix of leadership. What is this? You know, and they get into Galvatron, they go into all this stuff. They play with time travel. I'm like, yo, the movies are missing all of this gold right here. And this is what y'all give us with Sam Witwicky and all that. Like, what? So anyway, I see the new Beast Wars thing. The trailer looked fire. The trailer looked great.
Yes.
But we've been there before too. Them other trailers be looking great, and then all of a sudden we get them terrible movies. So,
see, Michael Bay knows how to make a trailer better than most. Him, Zack Snyder, and I would say
Warner Brothers in general.
Oh,
they cut great trailers.
Fantastic.
They really do. It's the follow through with the movie that suffers. So I'm good on that.
All right. Transformers, that's coming out June 9th. And I mean, that's halfway through the year. That's like right at the midpoint. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. The midpoint. Finally, our favorite person.
Here we go.
Ezra Miller will star in the Flash. The Flash. Y'all. Ezra Miller is going to star in The Flash. And Michael Keaton's going to be in it. Ben Affleck's going to be in it. Sasha Calle is going to be in it. Yeah. They said it's the best thing since The Dark Knight, y'all. The Flash.
All right.
Try
to
contain your excitement, please.
I am open-minded for The Flash. I mean, I give almost all these movies a shot, but I don't care about Ezra Miller. And that is not whether the movie is the best thing in the.
What if we love it? What if we like walk out the movie and we're like,
that's fine.
Head over heels.
Fine if the movie is great. I have no problem with the movie. I'm talking about just the actor. The actor does not need to be affiliated moving forward. Because even when all the drama was happening, the movie was already pretty much done.
Listen.
A lot of that stuff was in hindsight, you know.
I don't want to beat a dead horse. Warner Brothers is amenable to Ezra Miller continuing on as the Flash because Ezra Miller has been participating in counseling since last summer. It is what it is.
It is. We'll see what happens.
And that'll be the halfway point of the year with movies. Now, so far, that's a pretty decked out first half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Quantumania, John Wick, Spider-Man, and The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
You really won't go 6 weeks without hitting like a major release. And then we got the weakest second half of the year I've probably seen in a very long time. I'm gonna probably run through some of these. Elemental.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming June 23rd. I don't even know what Elemental is.
I've seen what it can do, or what it's about. But it's.
Is it like the one where it's the emotions?
Yeah, well, they're elements, right? So it's like water, fire, wind, stuff like that. And the main story is about, can this girl who's made out of fire have a connection with this dude who's made out of like water or whatever? And it's cute. It looks like Zootopia in a sense, but with elements.
From Pixar.
And they'll probably talk about different social issues or whatever. Basically, you know, like what happens if you come from a different culture or a different part of the world or whatever, and how we can bridge those gaps. So it ain't something I'm going to the theater for. You know, I'd wait for it to come on Disney Plus and watch it with my kids, maybe. That's about it.
That's one thing Chapek did that I liked, which was Pixar movies coming straight to Disney Plus.
Pixar didn't like that.
I know it's a big insult to such
Pixar
a
did not like that.
award-winning studio.
They did not like that.
However, I love seeing Soul. I love seeing the that other movie, the fantasy one with the ogres. Yo, those movies coming straight to Disney Plus made my day. And this would have been one of those movies I would have checked out right away had it come straight to Disney Plus. But I got to see if my son wants to see it.
Okay.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I watch it just for the culture. For movie culture.
I feel like this is one of those movies where, I don't often peel back the curtain, right? I get excited about projects for real, but sometimes I have to be excited because other people are excited. My audience is excited. I feel like this is one of those projects where it almost feels like the audience is more excited about this than I am. Like, I'm not an Indiana Jones diehard fan like that.
I didn't grow up with Indy like that. Like I didn't watch Temple of Doom. I think Temple of Doom might have been the first movie I watched in the 90s.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't even think I should have watched it when I was that young. Because when I saw Buddy pulling out people's hearts and people eating monkey brains, I was like, what is this? Like I that really messed me up, but I never really, I didn't connect with Indy like that. However, I respected Indiana Jones as a cultural figure, like in pop culture. So I always was like, okay, no, I totally understand like how people love it. People could grow up with it,
it was like another James Bond.
Right. And it was just one of those things where like it wasn't for me. I never hated it.
Right.
Never hated it. I just didn't glorify it. It wasn't something like, oh man, I got to get this Indiana Jones movie on DVD or VHS or whatever and watch it 50 times. Like that wasn't it. If it came on TNT, I watched it. After that, I moved on.
Last Crusade, if it came on, I'll watch it.
I'll watch this, and just because it's Harrison Ford's last movie,
I'm gonna tell you right now that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull just killed any little bit of curiosity I had in the franchise.
That was pretty bad. I remember going to the theater for that, and I was just like,
"Yo, is my G swinging from lines with monkeys
and aliens?
Is he really Spider-Man in Through the Jungle?
Y'all done some wild stuff before, but this is where I'm going. I'm good on that."
Yeah, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. There's one little morsel of curiosity, and that's because they're bringing back what's his name, Small Fry or whatever, the kid.
Don't ask me about nobody's name. If you ain't Indiana Jones,
the one with the gadgets, he was also in the
Goonies. If you're not Indiana Jones, I don't know nobody.
He's an adult now. He's in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm like kind of curious because they said he reunites with Indiana Jones in this movie, and that's about it. That's like okay, like, that's kind of cool.
All right.
What's after Indiana Jones? After Indiana Jones, we got Mission Impossible.
I'm down with that. Did you see this man do the marketing for this movie?
Yo.
He did a whole ad where he was like, yo, I want to thank y'all for Top Gun. I want to thank y'all for coming out to the theaters. By the way, Mission Impossible's coming out. Matter of fact, I'm about to shoot the stunt right now. Flies out a whole plane.
Calmly.
Jumps out a whole plane, like, pew.
Same
hey,
breath.
Y'all, come see my movie. Pew.
Calmly.
Like, what?
It continues talking. Yeah, it's going to be coming out in theaters. Thank you guys for seeing Top Gun. Oh, you have the time? All right.
Let me tell you something.
What?
Tom Cruise is a better marketer than The Rock. The Rock will market anything.
I have not seen The Rock jump out of a plane.
Tom Cruise? This ain't the first time he's done crazy stuff. Like,
no, he does it all the time.
How to market a movie.
Yo, I remember that one Mission Impossible. The first time I realized he was on something else. I think it was like Ghost Protocol, and he was climbing the tallest building in the world on the outside.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, he doesn't have a rope.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, he's really on his Jet Li, yo. Like, what? He's really on his Jackie Chan.
Jackie
Like,
Chan.
what?
Yeah. I
No
don't
rope, no
get it.
stunt man. It's just me.
I mean, he is the American version of Jackie Chan.
Yo, he's also, you know what? God bless him. He's entertaining me. I don't want to say anything. God bless him. He's doing his thing. He is absolutely the better promoter than The Rock. You hit the nail on the head. Until we see The Rock jump out of a plane, spit fire, climb a building, or bungee jump from the Hoover Dam, I don't want to hear nothing. Tom is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible. That's a good one.
That's gonna break some records on summer. That's an
gonna
easy
break $1
Billy.
billion?
It's an easy Billy. Easy Billy.
Do they normally break $1 billion?
I don't know, but that one right there, I think, just because of the time
and the Top Gun, he's gonna have the hype off of Top Gun still. He knows it. I think he's producing this too.
Of course, this is his whole thing. Let's see.
Stuff he produces now, right?
Mission Impossible 1 was 450, 2 was 546, 3 was 400 mil, 4 was close to 700 mil.
Okay.
Rogue Nation was about 680.
Okay.
Damn, Fallout was only 790.
Only.
Yeah. So I guess my guess is that if Top Gun could do it, and if it rides that wave that he's bringing with it, it could be the first one that hits a Billy. It could be.
Yo, if Tom Cruise could single-handedly start making movies $1 billion.
I mean, he hasn't done it so far with these, though.
If he could, though. He's done it with Top Gun, but if he could do
let's not be... he's doing a great job with these films. You know, these films are progressively getting better in terms of the box office returns.
And quality.
But
the films are getting better.
Yeah, I still have the issue with the fact that, like, I don't ever know what the hell's going on. Like, I watch these movies, and don't get me wrong, I understand it when I'm watching it. I follow it all the way there. But it's the James Bond effect. The second I leave out the freaking theater, you couldn't tell me, you couldn't ask me who was the main villain. What was the mission that was so impossible?
Listen.
Bro, I be forgetting all of these things. Cause all I go in there for is Tom Cruise doing some crazy stunt.
Yep.
And the sad thing is, a lot of these missions really are not that impossible because he always wins.
Does it every week.
Like, when are we gonna get to a mission that he's like, yo, I gotta fail because it literally is impossible?
It's really tough though.
Like, yo, this is mission accepted. This is what it should be. Mission accepted. Because he gonna finish it.
Listen. Your boy Tom in the Mission Impossible franchise, they're doing big things. It's a good chance that it might hit $1 billion. It's a very good chance.
I think so. Given the increased rise in prices and everything, I think so. What was Fallout? Fallout was pre-pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2018. Yeah, man. 4 years later, way higher prices and everything. Yeah, I can see this hitting it.
Yeah, we'll see. This one I'm looking forward to. I'm excited for that one.
I do hate the fact that this is only part 1, and it also goes to Across the Spider-Verse 2. I hate when movies announce ahead of time that this is part 1 of 2 or whatever, because now I know that wherever you end this off, it's going to be a cliffhanger, and I'm going to be pissed because I'm going to want to see how it ends. I hate it when they do that.
However,
I'd rather the money. You just not tell me it's an ending of part 1 and just let me run with it.
Blame Marvel with the Infinity War. Ever since Infinity War.
Nah, but they didn't tell you.
I wouldn't even say not even them. The Matrix did it first. No, they told us Infinity War was going to be a part 1 and 2.
They said that at first it was being shot at the same time.
Yeah, and they were saying it was Infinity War. Initially, it was called Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Well, I'm glad they didn't put that in the title and the marketing.
No. But it builds anticipation. It's more marketing for the third film than anything. And
it's stupid. It's just like Harry Potter did it, with like the 6th or 7th movie.
The last one.
And then Hunger Games. Hunger Games did that too, part
And
1
they
and 2.
stretch it
I'm
out.
just like, look, like, don't. I know, I get it. Like, you don't want to have a 3-hour movie, and that's fine.
No, they just
But
want
just
money.
end it and just let us know. Even
No.
Dune was like that, where they were like part 1 and part 2, and I'm like, man,
Dune,
whatever.
is part 2 going to be the end of Dune?
It should be,
You know, we'll get back to Dune.
because if you watch the original Dune, it does feel like 2 movies.
Okay.
Because it's literally 2 stories, damn near.
Dune is coming out this year too.
Was that the next one?
No, the next one was Barbie.
I skip it. I don't care.
Okay.
It looks interesting, but that's not.
Are your kids gonna want to see it?
I don't care. I need to see if it's appropriate for them first.
Was it the only thing that's interesting to me about Barbie is that they're gonna have multiple iterations of the characters, so they're gonna have multiple. Isn't Issa Rae one of the Barbies, like, or something?
I think so.
Right.
I think
so. Like, they got multiple iterations of Barbie. I'm curious. I'll see what's
Like,
going on.
I mean, I'll watch it just to see, and then like I said, if it's cool for my kids, then I'll let them go watch it.
The other one that's coming out after Barbie, though. No, it's the same weekend. Same weekend as Barbie is Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oppenheimer. So I have a problem with Oppenheimer. My problem with Oppenheimer is I don't understand what the excitement is, and I've been having this issue with a lot of Christopher Nolan's movies lately.
Right.
So, like, there was that movie, Dunkirk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard people say it was a fantastic movie. I should go see the movie when it was
I
out.
never cared about Dunkirk.
I've never seen it, and then after
I've seen it, it's an okay war movie, but
right?
I don't care about it.
Like, after it came out, and I asked people, should I go see it? Like 2 years later, they was like, if you missed it, don't worry. But there's a difference when it's a good Christopher Nolan movie, like, you know, Inception.
I think it was one of his worst movies. And that's not to say that it's a terrible movie. I just don't think. I think he's done better.
It didn't it get nominated for awards though? It was like an award-nominated film.
I guess whatever.
Well, he's doing Oppenheimer with Cillian Murphy, and
the cast is ridiculous.
The cast is ridiculous.
The cast is like, he literally got all the A-listers for this. I'm surprised he ain't gonna get the GOAT, Daniel
Day-Lewis.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get the GOAT to come back.
Daniel Day-Lewis is retired.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back. But Oppenheimer, you know, I am curious about it, especially like you said, it does have that ridiculous cast with Emily Blunt's in it, Robert Downey, Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, Gary Oldman, Kenneth Branagh, Jack Quaid, Rami Malek, Josh Hartnett, Casey Affleck. Who's not in this movie?
Right.
Oh, where's our boy Gary Oldman?
He ain't in this too?
Oh yeah. No. I mean, the other one, Michael Caine.
Oh, Michael Caine. Oh, that's a good question too.
All right. Well, yeah, Oppenheimer I'm curious for the cast. That's about it. I have no idea the story. Atomic bomb, something. They recreated a scene of the atomic bomb without using special effects. Something. I don't know. I want to be excited for Christopher Nolan movies like I used to be, but Tenet was such a. I mean,
it was a mixed bag.
Between Dunkirk and Tenet, it's like I haven't been getting from Nolan what I need in order for me to have that same energy, right?
I get it. Totally understand. Totally. Tenet needed a better producer in charge to reel him back. Because Tenet was a movie that was very brilliant, but it was too smart for its own good. And I don't think that it translated what it should have for general audiences. It needed to be watered down just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they needed to fix them audio issues because I'm like, I couldn't understand half of the people that was talking sometimes. But
I don't
anyway,
understand why they think that's okay. You could just
I don't know why either.
screw with the audio in
this is
your
why
audience.
I don't be running for Tom Hardy movies.
You know, it's not even Tom Hardy movies. It's those like those what did Chris Hemsworth call it? Those mad genius directors. Those ones that's like, you know, I can just do things.
Yeah, like y'all just gonna have to catch up, you know. And I'm like, nah, we might just skip it. It's like, no, you don't demand that much. Your name's not James Cameron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, you're not. It's not. No.
And even he knows to water it down for me. Dumb that down.
And it's right. And it's sad because it's like I think Nolan is really freaking brilliant, and I loved what he was trying to do. I watched Tenet 2 times, and I was really sitting here trying to process how everything worked, and I was just like, it's too much because and this is coming from the same guy that gave us Memento, which I think is a masterpiece.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You could watch
that Memento
backwards.
For what it was. It still was comprehensible. You know what I'm saying? Like you could still watch it and grasp what was going on.
Yeah,
even though it was some high level stuff. Right, but no, this wasn't it. This was a miss.
Listen, Tenet. I remember I lost a whole afternoon. I'm embarrassed to say. Don't judge me, y'all. I spent a whole afternoon watching the opening segment of Tenet repeatedly. Like I watched it. It's like 15-20 minutes. That whole opening segment where, you know, that spy and is breaking into that auditorium and them people, all that stuff is happening. The bullets start going backwards. I must have watched that. They talking backwards. I must have watched that scene like 8 to 10 times and just took breaks processing it in between. I never finished the movie. I never got past that scene. After about 8 to 10 times, I realized this is not the movie for me. This is not for me. Catch me on the next one.
Yeah.
After Oppenheimer though, it picks up a little. Marvel's back with the Marvels.
I don't care. I don't care.
Brie Larson.
This one, no. I'm gonna save.
Mon Vellani.
I'm gonna save us some time with this. I went to Disney D23. I saw the little sizzle reel that they gave us. This thing looked all over the place.
Tiona Paris. Listen, I'm here to support Tiona. It's gonna push the narrative, y'all.
Like this thing looks silly. It's got some action in it. Like I'm be honest. This gave me Thor: Love and Thunder vibes from what they showed us. Anyway, from what they showed us, and I was kind of like, I don't like. Is this an action adventure? Is this a comedy? Like I don't know. And to be honest, I don't know if this is gonna be something that I don't think it's gonna hit $1 billion. I'll say that. I don't think it's gonna follow Captain Marvel's footsteps.
It could.
I don't see it. Not off again. Maybe they're gonna show us a better trailer.
Right.
But from what I saw, the footage I saw, which is really just a compilation of like a bunch of different scenes here and there with the plot. I'm the villain. I don't care about the villain. The story was whatever. The whole entanglement thing is, I could see it getting worn out quickly.
Listen,
I was just like,
here's the main things that this film has going for it, right? The main things that it has going for it is it's going to be able to benefit the same way the first way did by the buildup of other movies. And Ant-Man and Quantumania, we're going to get our first sign of Kang. Whatever nonsense or craziness that Kang starts in that movie is going to go unresolved and hopefully spread out into the rest of the MCU. So when we get to Guardians of the Galaxy, when we get to Loki season 2, we'll have further developed whatever Kang is up to and got built up anticipation and excitement into his character. And we walk into the Marvels like, yo, we need to see what's going on with Kang. They said this is going to be the next part of the story. Marvel is back, y'all. Marvel is back at its prime. They're doing their storytelling the right way again. and Captain Marvel could benefit from it, just like they did last time. Somebody got to be the glass half full. Somebody got to be the glass half full. Just a little bit. Just somebody. After that is Ninja Turtles by Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is developing a Ninja Turtles movie. Nobody cares about Ninja.
I'm a Ninja Turtles fan, but they've let me down way too many times. So I'll wait and see.
That's one thing. I'm gonna get me a Ninja Turtles movie poster for the original movie.
That was primo.
After that is Blue Beetle.
I'm a little interested in that.
So Blue Beetle is interesting because he's an interesting character and he's got ridiculous powers.
This iteration of him, yeah.
And POCs.
Yeah.
POC.
Shout out to the Hispanic community that's gonna get their hero on screen.
Right.
Ooh.
Here we go again,
Back
y'all.
and forth.
Back and forth. So, Blue Beetle's got some really, really cool potential. I'm hoping that we get to see some good, nice sci-fi space potential action, or at least the Spider-Man level of stuff, right? The kid in high school with superpowers type stuff. I'm excited for that. And then all is quiet for like a good month and a half until your other favorite actor comes back, Aaron Taylor Johnson with
Yes. Yeah. I like Aaron Taylor. He's great. But Craven, another Sony Marvel movie.
Oh my god.
Without Marvel's help.
I mean,
I'm tired. Listen, I'm really, really tired of Sony putting out these movies without Spider-Man involved, and they keep acting as though
nothing's wrong.
They don't have access to literally a Spider-Verse.
Hold on.
Y'all could get any other Spider-Man that you want.
I'm willing to bet that they have an ironclad agreement with Marvel not to do that, right?
And if that is the case,
what they're doing.
If that is the case, that's pretty damn sad. That's pretty damn sad. And I get it, but that's pretty damn sad that they can't even. Because to me, I'm like, yo, y'all should at the very least put all your stuff in the future. And just say it's 2099 and have Miguel Herrera running around. It's enough.
It's another Spider-Man competing. Though.
I know. I'm just saying visually, it's enough to be such a completely different Spider-Man, and no one's gonna confuse him with Tobey Maguire, with Tom Holland. But
the safest bet that they're doing is what we're getting with Silk, right? They're doing a Silk show with Amazon.
Silk is gonna be risky too. That's not Amazon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and we're getting the other movie. That's not on here, Madam Web. They're trying to see if they can do Spider-Man type characters without it being Spider-Man.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that. This ain't new.
Oh, all right.
They got their heads puffed up a little too big with Venom, and then Morbius brought that right back down. That Morbin time really screwed them up.
They had a hint of Spider-Man in it, and Marvel probably made them take that out. All right, after Craven is Dune. We talked about Dune. Dune Part 2, I'm curious about it. It's one of those movies I'm a little nervous about, though. I don't really talk about it too much, but I'm a little nervous only because I feel like it's one of those films that should have been shot back to back. It's one of those film franchises that doesn't feel like you should take a break and write and then come back and finish the rest.
I agree. I mean, I'll watch it just because I watched the first one and I watched the original one, but Dune is not something that's like top of my list. But I'll watch it. Like, it was visually, it's very nicely put together. But the story is something that the story's already been ripped off by Star Wars, and it's I don't know. Like, I'll watch it.
So after we are done with Dune and Timothy Chalamet, he's back again with Wonka in December.
Definitely don't care about this. I definitely don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When Willy
They
Wonka used to
recasted
come,
his ass quick too.
yeah, Willy Wonka used to be Johnny Depp, man.
Johnny Depp.
Why they
Oh,
keep doing
now he,
that?
no.
But Ezra's fine. Somewhere, Johnny Depp is sitting there trying to figure out what dirt Ezra has on Warner Brothers that he don't, because
Yeah.
this don't make no sense. He made
Never
$1
does.
billion. He made $1
Yeah.
billion.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Wonka with Timothy Chalamet is coming out at the end of the year, and it's probably just going to be one of those things that's just going to try to get awards or something, try to eke its way into some category.
I don't think it's going to do anything.
We'll see.
I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fine. I don't
think it has any competition.
I don't
for
think
the
there's an
Christmas season.
appetite for Wonka.
I don't think so either. I think it's more so
But
they're banking
we
on.
do need to see the trailer. You
I
know,
think they're banking on
things can change.
Chalamet's heartthrob status.
I guess.
And then somehow,
What month are we in?
December.
Okay.
We're almost at the end of the year, but somehow, I don't know how, but somehow, there's a Ghostbusters movie coming out at the end of the year.
I like the reboot that they just did. It was okay. Not the strongest, but I'll watch it. But
I mean, I love Ghostbusters 1.
Sure.
I love Ghostbusters 1 so much that I'll even watch Ghostbusters 2 just to continue the story.
Yeah.
This movie, I love
You didn't like
Ghostbusters.
the reboot?
I love Ghostbusters 1 so much I didn't publish my review for this one.
Wow.
That's
I understand. I understand. I mean, I liked it. I don't know, top of my head, I'd probably give it a 7, 6.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it, but it just feels like it should have been a
spinoff.
There
was something wrong with it. No, there was.
It should have been a spinoff. It shouldn't have been like a main franchise.
I don't think that it was big enough to fill the shoes of expectations people would have.
I want some adult Ghostbusters.
Sure.
That point blank.
But they're trying to capture a younger audience. Blah blah blah.
I want some adult Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I get it.
Point period. That's it.
I get it.
And then we end out the year. We end the year with Aquaman.
I was about to say, where's Aquaman at? Sure.
Coming out for Christmas. It got moved.
I'm here for it, especially if this is the last iteration of him.
Potentially.
Because the reports are saying that, Jason Momoa might finally play the role he was actually born to play, which is Lobo. Like, he should be Lobo instead of Aquaman. But for whatever freak reason, fluky reason, Aquaman before made $1 billion. I don't know if it's gonna hit that again. I don't know. But I doubted the first one too, and I was shocked. But I'm interested to just see where they go, what they do with it, I guess.
Let's see, because those same reports, those are the same ones that are saying, as part of this remember the Variety article was saying that Aquaman, Shazam, Blue Beetle, and Peacemaker could all have a place in the new DC. So if for some reason Aquaman makes $1 billion again, that might pump the brakes on Jason Momoa as Lobo. That might be like, Zaslav is gonna call an audible and be like, forget that money. Right? We're gonna have 2 Jokers, we're gonna have 3 Batmans, and we're gonna keep this one going. Aquaman, y'all. So I mean, so far the year, I don't know, man. It looks okay. It looks like it's an all right year. It got some really big hits throughout the year. I'll honestly say that there won't be like a period in the year that's like slower than others. I'm really looking forward to a lot of the movies that are coming out this year. I'll say they look better than a lot of the movies that came out in 2022, or at least are more anticipated by me. I'm more excited for them than I was the ones that came out in 2022. We're finally going to get a Spider-Verse. We're finally going to get The Flash. We're finally going to get Aquaman and Dune and all these Marvel movies that will finally deliver us some of that Kang that we've been teased since season 1 of Loki.
Finally.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a good year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm optimistic. I think it's just going to be better than 2022. That's all. But I feel like it was a low mediocre bar.
Oh, I remember I had a question for you before.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think had a better 2022? Marvel or DC? As far as the movies that came out, and I'm just saying, like, out of the movies that came out in 2022, comparing Marvel's movies to DC's movies, who do you think had
I mean, it's kind of messed up, you know, but I guess by default, DC. I mean, everybody was mediocre this year. Like, it just, like, if No Way Home had came out this year, it'd be Marvel hands down.
Yo, I remember we looked at the calendar and realized No Way Home came out in 2021.
I know, I was shocked. I was like, dang, because it came out so late.
It came out
like in December.
And it was this close to saving 2022 for Marvel.
It could have. It really could have.
But instead, all we had was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Thor, Love and Thunder,
which
just, oh my gosh, I haven't seen a fumble. I haven't seen a bag dropped so hard,
so bad.
Oh,
so bad.
This is like scoring in the wrong goal bad if you're playing a sport.
Yeah.
And then the other movie was Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take those movies and you compare them with what DC do, the Batman.
The Batman, yeah.
What else? DC had the Batman. They had Black Adam.
Yeah, I mean, and these were not like powerhouse home runs.
No,
but
when you compare them with what Marvel was putting out.
Yeah.
Oh man, and it's looking like I don't know about you, but it's looking like more of the same this year.
Yeah, it ain't hot. It ain't hot.
No,
I cannot say that. I'm super excited. I'm definitely not that excited for. I told you, I'm already not even excited for Marvel this year. I'm more excited for the one character of Kang. That's about it. That's it. DC, I do think if Flash lives up to this Nolan comparison that they keep putting out there, apparently that might be the only thing they need to win this year. But
DC,
man, I don't know.
Stomp Marvel like Kang's about to stomp Ant-Man.
That might be the case.
It might be the case. And then, you know what would be wild if all that happens? We can honestly look back and be like, the old regime was right.
What do you mean?
If these movies continue to make money, the Batman made money.
Yeah.
If the Flash makes money, if Shazam 2 makes money, then Walter Hamada might have been on to something.
You know what? I mean, I think you even brought this point up that, he never really got his fair shake. No. He never really got a chance to see what he wanted to do.
No.
Or, what he planned out.
Yeah. Oh, well. We'll see. But yeah, this year's looking like it's going to be interesting. There's some movies. There's always going to be a big movie throughout every quarter throughout the year. I'm excited for it. Yeah, let's see. I'm excited for it. There's going to be a packed year. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of those unannounced movies, at least the movies that aren't mentioned in this list.
Right.
They're going to come out throughout the year surprises. Like
that's what I'm probably looking forward to the most. Like, what's going to be our everything everywhere all at the same time? What movie is going to come out that, like, we wasn't checking for and all of a sudden be like, yo, this is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm as a critic, that's what we're always looking for. We're
Yes.
always looking because a lot of movies be about the same thing, same run, same genre, but then that one little gem slips through the cracks, and that's the one that we could hang our hat on. So we'll see.
We'll see. Anyway, that's our list of the films that we're looking forward to in 2023. It's a pretty
So
comprehensive list. If there's any films that you guys can think of that we didn't discuss, mention it in the comments. I'm curious what you guys might have caught on to or want to recommend to us that we didn't discuss or mention.
yeah.
Um,
By the way, just a quick little promo because I know some folks be like, "Yo, where can I get that Kang Gang shirt? I want to be a member of the Kang Gang." Listen, all you got to do, we're gonna put the link in the description, and for just a limited amount of time, you can get 20% off, and all you have to use is the word Kang Gang, and it's one word. Just put it as one word, Kang Gang, and you can get 20% off and get you a Kang Gang shirt and be part of the official mafia.
Kang Gang Mafia. All right.
That's it.
Well, thank you guys for checking in. Please, if you guys like these videos, you like me and E-Man going back and forth and dropping the correct opinion on films, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I know like 98% of you guys ain't subscribed. I see y'all. Hit that subscribe button. It does a lot of work to help us grow as a channel. It goes a really long way. Please hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we're going to have to check you guys later. Peace. And I want one of the coupon codes that take 100% off. Please and thank you. Oh yeah, Kang Gang, 100% off. Chop chop. And let me hit.
Right on time. My plumber's here. All right, I gotta bounce.